The game that's been creating mods that literally no one has ever asked for. EU4 is just full of this stuff. Greece has just now become the #1 consumer of K-pop, and the Koreans might be on more of a Mediterranean diet as of recently. One thing I love is they've taken their religion with them too, so we do have a Korea with Confucianism and Greece over here with their Orthodox. I'm not sure how they're gonna spread that among some of their neighbors, but who's gonna have a better time here? Let's see. I can't help but bring some of the more obscure mods to you guys, and if you're appreciative of that, please consider hitting the subscribe button. At the very least, if you could check if this button is even highlighted. A lot of people think this is my main channel, but nope, this is my gaming channel, only weird ass games. Also to keep in mind, I have heavily buffed both of these new places in both of their new regions. I mean, they pretty much have unlimited manpower now. So both Greece and Korea, they're literally going to be able to do whatever they want. Speaking of which, to start things off, we have a Korea allied to Lithuania, also Serbia. There could be some problems considering they've been warned by Korea. Also, we have Greece just fabricating claims on some neighbors over here. Wait, what the heck is going on with the Black Sea? Is this just all Greece now? Wait, that's Greece that's in... How did they get over there? Do the Greeks still have a couple of these, like, islands in the Mediterranean, or... No, they actually just have lands in the Balkans for whatever reason. Why is Greece still in the I don't understand that. Alright, so the Greeks are... like de facto Bulgaria, but they're also out here in Asia for whatever reason. So that means that this Korea and this Greece are actually going to border each other. That could cause a lot of tension. We also have Castile just dominating Aragon here. Boom, they just took a bunch of land, so Korea's going to need to pay attention to this. That might be a regional power in the Mediterranean. Ooh, look at the development map mode. Korea's looking pretty rich. So are the Greeks, but the Greeks, I feel like, got the short end of the stick. I mean, look at how big the Ming Empire is. Oh, I think this perfectly lines up because it's kind of like, well, there's Greek land right here, and then the Greeks are over here. I think that's it. Still, it's kind of odd to see just Greece own all of the Black Sea for whatever reason. Oh, Castile's going to complete the Reconquista. Also, what is Korea's opinions on the fall of, inevitably, Constantinople or Byzantium? They are down to just one province. What a strange looking trade map. I forgot to check out the trade map. Man, this is so long. I also am now just realizing how close Korea is to Africa. I feel like they should probably move Busan to wherever this is. Look at how much traffic is now forced to flow in between this new strait. I mean, this is a famous spot because of how many ships have to, you know, sail through here. This is a little bit wider than both the Bosphorus Strait and the Strait of Gibraltar, but we just crashed. Whoops. Also interesting that the island of Crete was taken over here for Greece. I'm now just realizing Moria sounds... Moria? Korea? Moria? I'm guessing... How do you even pronounce that? Literally looks like Korea, but with an M in front of it. Wait, do they have the Korean flag? What the heck? That doesn't seem like it should be a thing. So yeah, they're a lot closer. The Greeks can easily island hop their way to Japan. Obviously, Japan is extremely divided up here. Besides these 3 new provinces for Greece in like modern day Bulgaria, not much has happened with our 2 like super OP nations. Something to keep in mind though is Korea is literally in 2nd place. I'm not sure. Oh, and Greece is in 4th. Okay, yeah, so they mean serious business. They are not playing any games. Greece still hasn't made any new Asian friends, at least at this part of the continent. But you know what? I don't think they really care about that because they are continuing to grow. I'm not sure how they got some of these. I don't know how they got Bosnia, for instance. There's the Greek flag over Bosnia. They've also allied to Serbia, which I'm sure isn't going to make the Koreans very happy. It's so interesting that these 2 superpowers that I meant to put on opposite ends of the globe are now, well, they border each other and they're kind of competing. I really didn't expect that, but Korea is also guaranteeing the Ottomans' independence. Oh, also Serbia is a tributary state of Korea. Wait, what? So both these powers have a relationship with the neighboring Serbia. Are the Ottomans really going to struggle here, or what's going on? It looks like they might, because we're already a couple decades into the start of this game. We need to keep a good close eye on Japan because whenever Japan does unify, that's going to be probably a pretty big problem for Greece, especially considering historically what happened to Korea and Japan. The Greeks might have a brand new enemy. Who cares about Turkey when Japan is your new neighbor? Actually, weirdly, these 2 kind of had similar histories with like, you know, anger with like a bigger neighbor. But anyways, the Ottomans are getting absolutely crushed right now by QQ and the Mamluks. Also, Greece just continues to grow. They're now bordering Poland in a way. I mean, there's a big mountain right here that separates them, but I like that this horse is just staring at the mountain wall. Greece is expanding. Korea, they're just chilling. They've decided they're just going to do the tributary state model. They should probably not do that forever. Also, in the meantime, Naples is independent. Castile doesn't want to go with their new name, Spain. They just want to be called Castile for whatever reason, and they're allied to Austria. The Habsburgs are going to come back to Iberia in this universe too, probably. And still a little bit too early to see any colonization in America just yet. I shouldn't even have mentioned the Greeks and the Turks because, well, now Greece, for whatever reason, is over this way, east of the Ottoman Empire. They're also just spreading all around. They are taking up a lot of hungry lands. They are hungry for Hungary's lands. Why does it not matter how old I get? I still make those stupid jokes. Ooh, look at Sweden with a big old dub over their big rival Denmark. They got this little province this way. England slowly uniting. They're taking over Scotland and all of Ireland. They also still have continental territory in France. Oh, Portugal, like wiping out Morocco. I think the Mamluks are going to be this world's Ottoman Empire, possibly. So again, Korea just has two tributary states, one Albania, the other Serbia, and they're also allied to France, funny enough. Then there's the Greeks who continue to claim more and more of their neighbors here in Asia, but they're really doing most of their expansion out in the Balkans. Also allied to Georgia. Meanwhile, the Europeans have in fact landed. Portugal's gotten here first to Hispaniola. They're probably going to be speaking Portuguese here. Dang, Morocco, are you good? They definitely don't look good. Also, Greece is becoming the new Ottoman Empire. I actually think the Ottomans are going to probably die soon. Sweden has all of modern-day Finland. They're also pushing out maybe the Norwegians a little bit. They grab this tail up here. The world looks set for Muscovy to become this, well, obviously Russia at some point. Look at this boat. Look at the Japanese boats getting very close to Japan or some of these Japanese warlords. Dang, Korea's development is just destroying the rest of Europe right now. In fact, all the world, basically. So is the Greeks, so that really shows why they're some of the most powerful in the world. It'd be pretty funny to see the Koreans, for whatever reason, join the Holy Roman Empire. I guess it's possible, but who knows? Just want to confirm that Confucianism is not moving too much. Neither is Orthodox here in Asia, but you got to give them time. We're still pretty early on in the game. Alright, yeah, so we can confirm that Portugal is probably going to grab up a lot of the Caribbean. I mean, they're really focusing on this island. Alright, that is an insane Portugal back in Africa, though. Pretty much taking all of Morocco. I don't even know why they left Morocco there. Spain finally did form. Also, Naples became two Sicilies. Meanwhile, Serbia smashed in between Greece and Korea still for whatever reason, and Greece is just expanding further. They're probably going to start attacking the HRE soon. England looks really powerful. I can't believe they've managed to hold on to all this territory. So far, the Greeks are actually just at war with Persia. Did they revive Alexander the Great somehow, or what? Meanwhile, Korea allied to two Sicilies, so two different peninsulas working together here. I just realized the similarities between the Italian peninsula and the Korean peninsula. Korea's still cool with France, and they're still cool with Lithuania. I actually didn't even notice that the Greeks also have this, was that called step system? Step, bro? It looks like Orthodox is more than likely going to get forced into the Middle East by the Greeks if things at least continue this way. Oh, look at that big old Ethiopia down here. Yeah, can confirm. Look at that huge Portuguese Caribbean empire that's beginning to form, and the French and the Spanish more focused on South America. Cusco is going to have a pretty sad fall. I can feel it. Meanwhile, the Brits, who are not the Brits just yet. Oh wow, England got to Iceland first. Yeah, they are going after Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. Just a complete overall collapse of North Africa. Not only are the Portuguese expanding more, but now even the two Sicilies going after like Italian, more modern day Italian strategies by taking over and conquering Libya. Greece now touches the Caspian Sea. Also, Russia's been formed. Oh, Russia's going to take out that lifelong Lithuanian-Korean ally. At least that alliance lasted for a long time. Sweden is definitely trying to probably consolidate some power because they see how massive Russia's getting. Austria taking over a lot. It looks like the Holy Roman Empire is probably going to collapse. Great Britain has formed. This is a very weak France in this world, though. I can't believe they're even colonizing. Speaking of which, they're really focused on the northern half of South America. They have French Colombia this way. Also, we're going to have a Spanish-speaking Brazil and Portuguese, Uruguay, and Argentina. Also Chile. Yeah, Portugal is no joke in this world. Oh, we have New Spain that's formed in Central America. All the Caribbean islands, of course, went to Portugal. Here are the 13 colonies once again, so that's all pretty much normal. That's a very big Britain. I mean, they're really focused on like the entire coast this way. We got a pretty big Delhi. Of course, we had a Ming explosion here. Oh my goodness, and the Greeks are actually expanding into Asia. It's a miracle. It's honestly kind of about time. They better start doing this before the Japanese are very close. They're about to unite and it's going to get over. Pretty big Delhi. I think Delhi's giving Persia a little bit of trouble, so is Hormuz. And so Austria is the leader of the Holy Roman Empire. They actually have been able to expand with a weaker France in this game. Really big Somalia. What happened to Ethiopia? I actually have not seen a big Somalia like this before. Also, we have Fry's land that's really focused on the Ivory Coast. The French are here, but I think most of the European powers really just focus on the Americas. We got a Greek Korea and a Korean Greek, but what about a Spanish-speaking Australia? Now that's what we've all been waiting for, right? I will say, you know, just purely based off like complexion and skin tone, they would probably do a lot better in the outback than, well, the whitest folks on Earth. I don't know what we were thinking. I dream of how horrific those sunburns probably are. Really big Delhi. Also, look at these guys go from Southeast Asia. Shun has become the de facto China, but maybe Greece is going to become the de facto China very soon. Oh, Ming is still here, just barely though. Russia is terrifying. Have they jumped over to America yet? No, not yet. They actually might get stopped by the Portuguese. The Portuguese has made it to Alaska first. We also have a federation forming in modern-day Texas. Pretty big French Colombia, also French Peru, and French, well, Ecuador kind of, essentially. Incan La Plata. Wait, were they able to survive, these Native Americans? That's crazy. That's kind of cool. And the Koreans have actually made the jump into North Africa. Wait, have they also been taken over the Ottomans? Yes, they have. We have Korean Anatolia. Korea and Greece, how are they not? They've probably fought in like a couple wars by now at least, right? Man, the North African nations, they've been getting destroyed here. Good for Iceland go, really focusing on Africa. Again, they're the only ones that are doing it. Well, unless you talk about South Africa. Also, we have an almost 16th century Prussia that formed. The year is actually 1620. Very early Prussia, which will we see a very early Germany? It's looking like that. Oh wow, how did Bohemia get all the way this way? Okay, so there's like 2 or 3 major powers this way. Oh, Friesland's probably going to form the Netherlands soon too. I'm surprised Denmark managed to stay around. I think more than likely Sweden's struggling against this very big Russia. And there it is, a full Spanish Australia, also Spanish New Zealand. Also, they're getting to kind of like Indonesia too, which, I mean, they might as well. This is still pretty uncolonized lands for now. Everyone's getting a little piece of the Philippines, including the de facto Netherlands. How many European powers can you fit on these islands? It's actually quite impressive, to be honest. But, oh wow, we even have got Korea over here. Okay, so Shun has destroyed that kingdom out of Southeast Asia. There's only 2 major kingdoms in India. Greece continues to expand slowly into Manchuria. Again, Japan, though, Japan's really struggling. Oh, because Shun has made it over here, that's why. Greece is essentially the Ottomans, or this is kind of like Macedonia in a way. Also, Korea, they're in the deserts of Saudi Arabia for whatever reason. They're going to get a whole bunch of oil soon. Somalia is probably a rival to the Koreans, more than likely. Again, Korea holding on to that Serbian tributary state. They're also holding on to that alliance with Lithuania. They've also added Poland. Meanwhile, the Greeks allying to Bohemia, the British, and I guess that's it for the most part. Yeah, nobody else, really? I guess you don't need anyone else. The Brits, whoa! Oh, 13, okay, for some reason I thought that the Brits already lost the 13 colonies and Newfoundland or de facto Canada. Not yet. Brits really focused and put all their eggs in North America in this universe. They have a couple of spots everywhere else, but not much. I feel like the colonial winner here has got to be Spain. Oh, Colombia already got their independence from the French. Oh, because the French have become completely landlocked. So this is a French-speaking Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, all the way up to Nicaragua. That is pretty crazy to think about. The Spanish also formed their little Iberian Union. Wow, they have exploded into South Africa, as we kind of already, well, the southern, but it's their south, it's just Africa, but they're exploding all over this part of the continent, also into southern France, because southern France is in here. It's actually, there's a Saxon France. Oh, Britain actually got what they wanted. They've won. They've pretty much been successful in their like little 100 Years War thing. Holy British Scandinavia. They wiped out the Vikings, reverse Viking invasion. Also, very big Austria. Yeah, Prussia didn't last long at all. I think it's Austria that's going to form this world's Germany. Poland, Lithuania. Oh, wait. Oh, Russia's gone. And probably due to the Greeks. Serbia took out Albania. Serbia, for some reason, just in between their new friends. Well, I don't know if they've already been, they know what it's like to be next to Greece, but Korea as well. Korea, who is continuing to expand. They now have Qatar. So again, man, once they discover oil, it's going to be a crazy Korea. Just imagine Samsung combined with all that oil production. Yeah, pretty much everyone's been taking little bites out of Russia. Now it's just called Russian Siberia. The Shun are really powerful. I think the Greeks have been expanding slightly into Asia. Or maybe did they lose a couple provinces? I'm not 100%. Still openings to take parts of Indonesia away, as well as Southeast Asia. The de facto Netherlands is probably going to get pushed out of every single colony they got because they just don't look that strong in Europe. Okay, now we wait and see. Oh, the French-speaking part of northern South America, that's all gone. Yeah, Spain's just taking that all over. Yeah, France, literally non-existent in this campaign. Who's essentially also non-existent here is the Ottoman Empire. Although the Ottomans do still exist, we also have Cyprus. The Greeks have allowed them to stay around for a little bit, especially as they take out more and more of Russia. British Scandinavia is still going strong. I can't believe Poland, Lithuania is still here. Austria still hasn't formed Germany yet, but they're probably getting close. They probably almost have all the provinces. 2 Sicilies still exists, and Spain, I think, well, Spain's chilling. Spain's been focusing on their New World colonies. They still have all of Brazil, pretty much a complete monopoly over all of South America. They might be fighting a couple of wars against the Brits because that's really the only people that are colonizing anymore. Spain also with all of Oceania. Surprised that Persia's been able to stick around. They still have a couple of ports here and there. There we go. That's exactly what I was waiting for. So we have an Austria formed Germany, also very big Great Britain, also very big Spain. So there's really only 3 powers in Western Europe. Oh, this is like an advanced Great Britain though, because not only do they have modern day France, but all of Scandinavia, all of Nordic lands. They did, wait, how did Iceland get their independence? That's kind of crazy. British Western Europe. That looks pretty far east to be Western Europe, but okay. Greek love. Ooh, the British taking a big old punch out of the Greeks, or punching really hard at the Greeks. The Koreans are doing, oh wait, the Koreans are being kind of seized out here. Oh, are we going to see the fall of our 2 little empires here that we formed? That's going to be sad. Look at how huge Shun is though. Oh, Shun is actually taken parts of the part, this is Maria. We had Korea, yes, but now Maria. It's like a Shun Maria. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying. Brunei still exists. Yeah, Indonesia's still doing okay, funny enough. Still no independences. Yeah, I mean, that's because this is a scary world. Germany, I actually don't think is really that powerful. I mean, not compared to this Britain and Spain. It's crazy. Malacca, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They actually continue to get bigger and bigger. They're actually stretching all the way over to the Philippines. Friesland is still going. That's incredible. They haven't been kicked out yet by the Spanish. Also, we have Long Delhi, very Long Delhi. Russia does still exist, but barely. Persia actually still, oh my goodness, look at the huge hit Greece just took. Also, the Germans or the Greeks completely seizing out. Oh, we're going to lose both of them, aren't we? Genoese, the Genuines, they're over here. They're over here doing a lot. How is Genoa still alive? Oh, Friesland's been kicked out of continental Europe. Yeah, Britain and Spain, they cannot be fans. Somehow Britain still got the Strait of Gibraltar in this universe. Is Spain continuing to expand? Somalia is still going. Ethiopia does still exist. We had the Greek Levant not that long ago. Now we have the Korean Levant. They're probably going to lose both of those, though. Spanish South Africa, also British South Africa. That was going to be like Southeast Africa. I thought it was going to be more specific. Dang, even the Brits are getting kicked out of South America. Yeah, the Brits are actually beginning to lose a lot of their colonial power in America. No matter what universe it is, the Korean Peninsula has to be divided in the middle. Well, it's not necessarily divided in the middle. We've got 2 Sicilies moving into Pyongyang. I'm guessing that's still called Pyongyang. Maybe the Italians like named it to something else. Pyongyang with the hand movement. We also have the Germans taking over parts of North Korea, and well, South Korea is still Korea. The Greeks are like a collapsing Ottoman Empire at this point. The Persians with a great comeback. Genoa still over this way. Poland, Lithuania still exists, but the Germans are expanding that living space as they always do out towards the east. Liege is still okay. I'm not sure who's winning the race between Britain and Spain. Yeah, Britain is like de facto Russia at this point. We do have a united Japan. Oh, Japan with Taiwan, but doesn't really matter. The Greeks just continue to survive in Crete, and that's it. The de facto Chinese empire Shun has taken that entire. Is this a peninsula? Is this a Greek peninsula? I guess you could call it that. Yeah, this is definitely a peninsula, Drew. I'm stupid. Finally, two independences. Illinois got their independence, and Canada. More than likely, they were aided heavily by the Spanish Empire to get free away from the British. 13 colonies, still a British colony for now, though. Religion really hasn't moved much at all, even though, well, the Greeks were here. Orthodox looks significantly weaker. Actually, man, yeah, that British religion really spread a lot. Surprisingly, wait, did you guys lose this? Oh yeah, you are actively losing France because of both Germany and Spain. Holy crap. Germany meant business in this campaign. Not only taking out the 2 superpowers, Greece and Korea, but also there were the other superpowers like Spain and Britain. Genoa is still here somehow. That's incredible. Yeah, but most of the world is Catholic. There wasn't really much of a Protestant uprising. Confucianism hasn't really moved at all. Also, Sunni wasn't necessarily pushed out of North Africa. Sunni's the only way. Oh, there's like no Shia. Also, Orthodox. Okay, so that is something new. Greece was somehow successful in spreading Orthodoxism, or it was probably a little bit of Russia too, let's be real. Maybe the Greeks got it to Manchuria, but this was more than likely Russia's doing, especially because this is uncolonized land at the start of the game, so the Russians easily just convert these people. So Sunnis really taking over the north of India. And then there's a religious war more than likely playing out between South America and North America. There's a Spanish California, but it's all being mogged by the Illinois colony. This is a British Illinois. Also Canada, I mean, they're both going to wipe out the 13 colonies. Did you guys all remain independent? Like, are they all still under Spain? That's crazy. Look at this war the Spanish are in. Wow, so like a world war can entirely just be a war between two nations. Oh, well, Spain is allied to Germany, but it's mostly Spain versus the British. Germany doesn't have very many colonies. This whole thing is a world war. That's crazy. Oh, I don't think Asia's included in the war. Oh, kind of right here if you count this. But yeah, India is just two different powers for the most part. It's really sad to see Korea leave the Asian and African continents. Well, we're used to seeing Korea and Asia. My bad, Drew. Come on, chill out. Stop with the crack. We got a pretty big kill wall here, though. They managed to survive. Even though Korea might get kicked out of continental Europe, the Korean culture is still going strong. Well, like not right here. Also, a lot more Greek culture, Gothic. Whoa, look at how much Gothic spread. Is that normal? That doesn't feel normal. Also, we've got plenty of Greek culture here in Northeast Asia, which that is new, to say the least. Oh, Vietnamese culture also really exploding into China. Here we go. Let's see who won this campaign. 8th place is Persia. That's crazy because I kept saying that Persia was really weak. Delhi's in 6th, Illinois in 5th, Shun in 4th, Great Britain 3rd, Germany 2nd, and Spain did win this game. I wasn't sure there. I mean, it looked like Germany was going to start to catch them, but they are very far and away the #1 nation. Like I said in the very beginning, if you enjoy these really random mods that no one has asked for, please consider hitting the sub button. That really helps out a lot. And that you want to see things that maybe don't make any sense. I think they're fun. Big old thanks to my patrons over at Patreon. Go out here calling bro a history expert. Temperance, Drew's Argentinian Trust Fund, Nord Tyrol, Nolan, Miglu the Goat, Luxembourg Lover, Carino is best girl, King Bear Hayes, Frederick Tiblin, Douche Baggins, Connor Pavlik, Carmel S, Alexander the If you'd like your name here, check out that link in the description down below to patreon.com.